Welcome back. Randy Bueller here with Brian David Marshall. Getting ready to watch the team championship match. Aaron Nicastri of Australia has now clinched Rookie of the Year, but he'd love to take the first team title trophy down under.
Yeah, there's a limited number of teams that have won this title.
Not very many.
It was a big surprise when Switzerland won it last year.
Sure.
But of course the USA would like to keep everything within the USA this year.
Returning to the glory days when the U.S. won this title every year. I mean, certainly they think it's the glory days.
So while we were watching those bits, we were wondering when the last time a country won every Pro Tour in a season, the World Championship, and the team competition.
Right. It has, in fact, only been done once.
And that was back in
the 97-98 season.
97-98.
So it wasn't done in year one because Ulirade won a Pro Tour.
Right.
It wasn't done in year two either.
Hovey won
a Pro Tour, and the U.S. did not win the team title that year either. So since the Pro Tour started in 1996, only once has a country swept everything. It was the 97-98 season. The Pro Tours went me, Steve-O, Matt Place, John Finkel. Brian Selden won the team title, and the U.S. team that year was the Long, Lindy, Finkel, and someone else here. Someone who played the green deck at Nationals. But that 97-98 season is the only time any country has ever run the table. Since then, there have been different countries, right? You've had Kai comes in. Germany wins a lot of titles. The Japanese show up. They win a lot of titles. But never has there been a complete sweep, right? Never has the same country won every Pro Tour and both world titles.
In 2005, we saw Japan win Player of the Year, Worlds, and the team competition.
Sure.
Which is, a different.
It's a pretty nice triple.
It's a pretty nice triple.
But never all the premier events. And to be fair, the U.S. is not going to take home the Player of the Year this year.
No.
So that it did do. The 97-98 season, Finkel was Player of the Year as well. So still probably the most dominant year for a country. But this would be almost unprecedented. It's only been done once. It hasn't been done in literally over 10 years, 10 and a half years. We'll be right back to find out if USA can put the team title, can get one step closer to that, and then it'll come down to Jamie Park. So we'll be right back with coverage of Team USA versus Australia. Hello and welcome to the 2008 Magic the Gathering World Championships. I'm Randy Bueller. I'm here with Brian David Marshall, and we are ready to find out who will be the world team champions. Will it be Team USA? Will it be Team Australia?
Oh, no.
That's Sam Black on the left of your screen. He is the American extended pilot. He's got an elf deck. He's been struggling to win matches, but when push came to shove, when the team needed him, he took out Masashi Oiso in the semifinals. Playing across from him is Aaron Nicastri. Aaron Nicastri is your 2008 Rookie of the Year. He's also the Australian national champion. And Aaron is piloting a Tron deck. Similar to Masashi Oiso, not card for card identical, but same basic design. It's going to be Tron versus Elves. We're going to find out which of these national champions can put up the first match win.
Aaron's deck looks very, very similar to Oiso's deck that we saw last round, but he has main deck Knight of Souls Betrayal. Two of them.
Two of them, in fact, yeah. So he should be even better against Elves.
Specifically expecting this matchup. We just had a message passed to us by a couple of judges from Australia. They wanted to pass on the message, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi.
I suppose so. Black comes out with a Birchlore Ranger and an Elvish Visionary. Down comes Ursa's Power. All right, the other matchups going on the other tables will definitely keep you up to date, and we will bounce around a little bit. In Legacy, we've got Paul Cheon versus Justin Cheung. The American is piloting a Dreadnought Stifle deck. Cheung, the Australian, is playing kind of a control deck. It's more blue-black control. It's almost rock, right? It's Tarmogoyfs, Tombstalkers, bunch of removal, Thoughtseize, Sinkhole.
Force of Will.
Closest I could describe it would be a Legacy rock deck. Pretty much, monsters, removal,
It looks
Force of
like, you know
Will.
what it looks like? It looks like old Type 1 Shazam decks.
Yeah, sure. Sinkhole just got Force of Will.
By the way, turn 2 again, or turn 3, I guess, on the play.
Sam Black is announcing that he has the win in hand.
Yeah, Nettle Sentinel in effect. Sam Black has Glimpse going.
Sounds like 2 glimpses going.
So this is exactly the way Sam Black drew it up. He's got Birchlore Ranger, Heritage Druid, Nettle Sentinel, Elvish Visionary, Birchlore Ranger. He's got 2 Glimpse of Natures in effect, so every elf that he plays, he gets to draw 2 cards. He plays another elf off the top of our camera, taps 3 for Heritage Druid.
4 floating. Do we need to play this out?
Do we need to play this out, Sam Black says. Reveals his hand to Aaron Nicastri, and
Okay.
Nicastri
I won game 1.
So blisteringly fast. That's what the elf deck does. Sam Black wins the die roll. Sam Black just plain wins on turn 3. Turn 3 kill on the play with the elf deck. So Sam Black takes a quick game.
So what is Sam Black's kill condition in this? He is running the mirror entity combo.
Sure. Let's peek in on the middle table. Michael Jacob on the left of your screen, playing against Brandon Lau on the right. This is the standard matchup. Jacob has the black-white token deck that a lot of the top Americans played this weekend. He's been having decent success on Magic Online.
Play Battlefield 4. I hate this case.
Meanwhile, Brandon Lau is playing
Essentially playing red-white heights.
the red-white version of the deck. So essentially, you've got 2 different base white decks with Windbreast Kites. The Jacob version heads toward black in order to take advantage.
He's using Bitter Blossom.
Take advantage of Bitter Blossom. That's right.
Mostly, and he's I believe he also has the Marsh Flitter, right? In this version, he has Marsh Flitter also, which is generating tokens for him. So that's another card that generates multiple creatures for someone to deal with.
Brandon Lau, on the other hand, is playing the red version of the Heights deck, red-white Heights. So he gets Mog Fanatic. He's got Ranger of Eos to go get those Mog Fanatics. Also gets Figures of Destiny, obviously. And then Johnny Vengeance is the other key card that he gets for playing there. So the matchup we're actually looking at on camera is the Legacy match.
This is an easy choice. Those are some nice top decks you've got.
Yeah. There, okay.
Yeah.
Now we're back to standard.
So counterbalance, I'm like, what just happened?
14.
Yeah, Paul Cheon has counterbalance in play. A couple of sinkholes have come out. Standstill has resolved in Paul's favor.
Ooh! Then it has to be such procession. Clearly.
We're looking at the Legacy match here again, but we're going to cut back to the standard. There we go. I think we have the wrong overhead camera on this.
Our overhead camera and
worse than one with nothing.
Let's see if we can't get a. There we go. We're about to have a look at standard.
Michael Jacob has a pair of Pied Hollow Scullers. He's got a Glorious Anthem. He's got a Mutavault. He has managed to deprive Brandon Lau of.
But I'm losing the damage race.
Figure of Destiny and a Johnny.
That's the Vengeance of Johnny.
The Vengeance of Johnny, yes. Brandon Lau, on the other side of the table, has a Mog Fanatic and a 4/4 Figure of Destiny. He's also got a Windbreast Heights that just came down, but he does not yet have a third attacker. Jacob's turn. That's Reflecting Pool and Mutavault in order to terror the figure.
Yeah.
Mutavault attack for 6.
Yeah, looks like attack for 6.
Really? Not attacking Fnatic? What could be going on over there?
Lau could have jumped with Fnatic, declined.
Play some good. It wasn't Ranger Bios who time attacked. So I'm thinking.
Jacob doing our job
of a Reveler for a Siege King. And I'm willing. I'm willing to take 3 to make sure you don't have a Reveler for a Siege King in your hand.
I'm not that good.
You have nothing. Okay. See? Look how terrible this card is.
Awful.
Yeah. Whee! Oh, I'm done. Yeah. Bitter Blossom was just so bad this game, I decided it wasn't worth it. Let me guess. Siege Gang Commander.
Americans seem to be having a lot of fun together.
Yep.
Really enjoying playing Magic. You see Jacob sort of talking along,
The old 4
making fun of
spells,
his
top
own
deck a land,
cards.
4 spells, top deck a land, yeah. I love Wimber Skites like that.
It's so good. Your turn.
I'm trying to figure out if Mike's having fun or trying to
Put his
tilt his opponent
tilt.
a little bit. That's sort of
I think both.
a bit of his. Yeah, well, I mean, you can have fun putting your opponent on tilt, right?
It's true. Pair of Bitter Blossom still sitting in Michael Jacobs' hand.
Yeah. He's at 8, I'm at 7.
I don't know, Mike.
You know this is better?
Figure Destiny hit hard early in the game.
Yeah. 2 Tidehuller Scullers can attack for 6.
No. I mean, yeah, it's his all lands.
No, I know. With one of the land, it comes with that.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, obviously he doesn't have it. Obviously, I understand that.
So, I mean,
What, I just have to play around with Siege Gang is the worst possible thing that could happen to me?
The fact that the team can talk to each other is definitely
so figure out which play is better against that.
aspect of this format.
At this point, your sideboarding is taking about 4 minutes. You guys need to hurry up.
Jacob, well in control of this game. He's just trying to figure out what's the worst card that can be on top of his opponent's deck,
Does Johnny save him?
and what's his
no,
best
Johnny doesn't
play
save him.
if he's in that worst case scenario. Over on the Legacy match, Paul Cheon has Dreadnought and Stifle. So there's a 12-12 attacker in play for him.
Next up.
That's pretty rough for Justin Cheon.
How's it looking? I mean, he's got an underground. And I have a Dreadnought anyway.
I think you guys can hear the play-by-play from Paul Cheon. My opponent has an Underground Sea in his hand, and I have a Dreadnought in play. Definitely edge to Team USA right there.
It's not amazing.
Historian does have a Tombstalker.
Sure.
May I attack you?
Oh, you may.
Powers up Mutavault. So 8 power worth of
That's
attack.
9 power, right? Before his hands on the fence.
Oh, and 9 power. So
Yeah.
Brandon Lau is obliged to block.
This 3/3
Okay.
and deal you 1.
Alright, 6.
Puts Jacob at 6 and drops to 2. Siege Gang Commander does seem like it's about the only thing Brandon Lau can draw just to stay alive.
Siege
Even
Gang
that
gets
I'm
to
not
block
sure
with the 3
works.
tokens, yeah.
There's no way you can hide.
He doesn't necessarily block with 3 tokens, but it's better this way. You can double block and get a Sculler back.
Brandon
Sculler
Lau
and a Johnny have a Sculler.
does draw Siege Gang Commander off the top.
Tokens, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was the only card that
This guy.
Michael could think of.
Well, after drawing 3 land in a row, I got lots of spells in my deck. That's the secret.
So now what happens? Well, he's obliged to block both 3/3s.
Well, he can block 2. Does he have any mana untapped to activate?
Only 1, so he cannot activate.
So he just has to chump block all 3.
Well, he can double block a Sculler,
Like, you can't, I mean, you can
get back something. Paul Cheon does, in fact, finish off the first game, so Team USA is up 1-0 and 1-0. And looking good here, but it's not quite over yet. So both Scullers and the Mutable head into the red zone. 3-3 freeze. There's 3 Goblin tokens and a Siege Gang. So Chump leaves Michael Jacob with Siege Gang and essentially he can like top deck Mog Fanatic to deal 6. He could also double block and get back something. Looks like he's going to double block in order to kill a Tide Hollow Sculler and get back his Johnny Vengeance.
Right, which lets him, he can play that Lightning Helix something, gain 3 life.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then get whatever's under his other Tide Hollow Sculler.
That's right. Yeah, this is, that was a pretty good top deck for Brandon Lau.
And a good block.
Yes. A lot of people might have been tempted just to chump and hold on to their Siege Gang, but killing the Sculler allowed them to get back a Johnny. Now he can play a Johnny. Yep. He can use the middle ability to Lightning Helix his other Sculler. What's the card that's under it?
Looks like, is that a Kitchen Finks?
It's very shiny. That's all I know. It is a very shiny Kitchen Finks.
So he just gained 5 that turn.
Gains a 5 life. Suddenly he's got Kitchen Finks and a Johnny.
You have 7?
Yes, I'm 7.
Ranger Leos. No? Marsh Flitter.
How many of you don't have Goblin Rogue tokens?
Everyone has those. They don't have those. Go.
Can't use a Johnny here to kill anything.
Nope. Only 1 loyalty counter left, so. Gonna be locking something down. Probably, what, Mutable?
A land? Yeah, probably Mutable.
I think that's better than Reflecting Pool.
Yep.
Wow, here comes Ranger Leos off the top. Lau was back against the wall, but a couple of rips in a row. What do you think he gets?
No.
Mog Fanatic, right?
Mog Fanatic, I mean, the Glorious Anthem, Mog Fanatic's not quite going to do it. Figure of Destiny?
So on the extended matchup, Nicastri mulligans to 6, but Sam Black is already on his 2nd mulligan, so he's going to be no more than 5 cards.
Yeah, I feel like that elf deck doesn't mulligan great.
Fair. Elvis looks on, watching the festivities here in Memphis, Tennessee. Brandon Lau shuffles up his deck after selecting 2 Figures of Destiny with his Ranger Leos.
You know?
Okay.
Yep. Jacob's gotten a little quieter now.
Yeah, Jacob's not talking the same talk. All right. Brandon Lau has Figure of Destiny, Ranger of Eos, Kitchen Finks, and a Johnny Vengeance. He's got 7 life to play with right now. Michael Jacob has Marsh Flitter, a pair of Goblin tokens, and a Glorious Anthem. 4 land of his own, including a Mutavault, which did not untap this turn thanks to a Johnny Vengeance.
Aaron beats fairies with it. I lose to fairies. I'm sorry?
Yeah, this red-white Heights deck is the same deck that Aaron Nicastri used to run the table on day 1. Getting Australia toward the top of the standings out of the gates, getting Nicastri toward the top of the standings, which eventually led to his Rookie of the Year finish. So the Australians have had some success with this deck already.
They picked this deck up in the wake of
the 5K, right? The Star City 5K that happened last weekend.
Yeah.
Osip Levidovic.
Maybe top 8 with a different version of this and then said,
no, in fact, I believe they're playing Osip's deck card for card.
with the spectral processions?
They changed it a little bit. That's right. They took it and changed it in ways that OSIP had actually recommended changing it, but not exactly.
It's a lot of caves and toilets.
Yeah, like they're going to lose to me this game. They always do.
I hate drawing multiple Battlefield Forge 2. So,
The game's bogged down a bit here. Do you just attack a Johnny if you're the Marsh Splitter?
Yeah, I think he has to.
It's a 2-2 Marsh Splitter. You can't let that.
Yeah, I think you've got to attack a Johnny. He's just worried about the counterattack, but I mean, a Johnny just starts lightning helix and things again. So I don't like Michael Jacobs' changes in this game.
He
He had Brandon Lau down to one draw phase. That was one turn where Brandon Lau could draw one card. He had to draw exactly Siege Gang Commander, but he did. Jacob looking over, trying to.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. No, I go the other route. You don't think it's better? If you don't think it's better, then don't.
Jacob advising Sam Black on how to play out the early elf turns.
5.
Oh, with a Johnny Vengeance out of the way, it clears the path for a Johnny Goldney.
And I will gain 2. Go ahead.
7 apiece.
I'll throw both of these.
Okay.
Short figures go a little bit. Brandon Lau is kind of.
I think if I play any less aggressive, I lose it a siege game. That's what I'm thinking.
Like Jade is musing about how he could have played the game differently right now.
I think he'd run runner.
All right, it looks like Brandon Lau is in pretty good shape here. Michael Jacob is going to do his best to try to stabilize, but I want to go make sure we can look at Cheon and Cheong before they finish their match. So let's go watch a little bit of Legacy. Right now, Paul Cheon leads that match 1-0.
Surprising.
The Americans also up a game on the extended table thanks to Sam Black, although Sam has double mulligan that second game there. Paul and Justin are about to get started.
Yeah.
And there you get a look at them. So far, we've had one land. There's an Underground Sea in play for Justin. And now here comes Polluted Delta for Paul. I think I'm going to use first games for this match. Cheon versus Cheon. Tropical Island for Justin. And Tarmogoyf. Paul nods.
It's interesting, when I was doing the deck tech with Paul talking about Legacy, he was talking about how critical a card, Relic of Progenitus, has become in the Legacy format.
Oh, sure.
Specifically because of Tarmogoyfs. Because you not only empty your opponent's graveyard, but you empty your graveyard as well, and you leave them with an 0-1. You leave them with an 0-1 Tarmogoyf. He said he had someone actually blow a Force of Will on his relic at one point.
All right, Lau did in fact finish off Michael Jacobs, so the Australians have a game. Team USA won 2 out of 3 game ones. Got to win 2 out of 3 matches if you want to be world team champions. Counterbalance from Paul.
Do you know I own the original art to Counterbalance?
Really?
Yeah, I picked it up at San Diego Comic-Con this year.
Nice.
It's huge.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how some artists paint really small, some artists paint gigantic. They all wind up Magic card sized, but they come in different.
No top for Paul. He was really worried about a lot of the aggressive decks, and he only played 2 tops because he just never wanted to have multiple tops in his hand.
Interesting.
He felt like the format's too.
Come on, Tricky Mage!
Brainstorm.
Frozen grip.
Yeah, frozen grip removes the counterbalance.
Builds up that
And
Tarmogoyf.
powers up Tarmogoyf as well. These players are playing Legacy. Each match is a different constructed format, Legacy Standard and Extended.
So Legacy is basically you can play with any set of Magic
Ever.
other than the unsets, right?
Correct.
And that there's a specific band list.
Right. There are
There's
no restricted
restrictions.
cards, but there is a reasonably extensive band list that includes many of the cards that are restricted
So
to Type 1.
so I cannot play with Time Walk, for example.
No boxes, none of the truly broken stuff, but you get to play the best from all the way back to the beginning of Magic. Dual lands.
Is Brainstorm restricted in Vintage?
Yes,
So you get to play with some cards that are restricted.
you do. I mean, a lot of the fast mana is restricted in Vintage and still legal here too. Stuff like the Mox Diamond, Chrome Mox. Paul's Trinket Mage was 1 turn too late. If he'd flipped it, he could have countered Frozen Grip to defend his counterbalance, but shows up 1 turn too late. Still goes and gets an Engineered Explosives, though. That'll allow him to deal with the Tarmogoyf next turn.
Yeah, interestingly, Counterbalance is one of the few ways to get around Split Second.
Right.
Few, maybe only ways. I don't even know.
There aren't very many.
I think I kept a bad hand.
By the way, back over on the extended table, Sam Black looks like he's beating down with elves into 3 mana.
Yep, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 6 1/1s. Hive Master is helping. Oh, he's got an Old Mage Shepherd as well.
Dash me first.
Nicastri plays a 4th land.
Maybe you can.
Nope, there's a Tombstalker for Justin.
Tombstalker comes down for Justin
I guess
Cheon.
if I counter it, it's 4.
It's from the future, you know.
Yes, Legacy bringing together sets past, present, and future.
Tombstalker's a 5/5 flyer. It's big. That's gonna make short work of Cheon if he can't find an answer.
Yeah, Brainstorm for Paul. He is trying to stitch together a hand, but there are 2 gigantic monsters on the other side of the table. 5/5 flyer, flying Tombstalker, and a pretty decent sized Tarmogoyf. Trinket Mage is not going to get the job done on defense.
Yeah, like interestingly, if you can, you fill up your graveyard with fetch lands. I mean, Tombstalker's a flying Shazam. You can get that. You paid 4 for it this turn.
Right. 4 mana 5/5 flyer. That seems fair. It's not Tarmogoyf's best friend. Sam Black continues to attack with a horde of elves up on the extended table. He's up a game already, looking to put a first match win on the table for Team USA.
Cheon seems unhappy with the way this game is going. Said he thinks he may have kept a bad hand.
Yep. Here's another Trinket Mage. It's nice synergy with Brainstorm. Got to shuffle away whatever the cards were that he didn't want. Goes and gets Phyrexian Dreadnought.
So Paul has 2 turns to survive Tombstalker.
Right, I mean, if he's got the Stifle, which I suspect that he does since he trinketed up the Dreadnought, that'll block Tarmogoyf.
Right,
But
he can chump block. He can also chump block Tarmogoyf.
Right, there's still a little problem of a 5/5 flyer, and now here comes Thoughtseize. So Paul's going to lose a card from his hand unless he forces this. we need to force a will? I can't get a good look at Paul's hand.
Looks like there's a force of will on the far right there.
Force a will. Red blast doesn't help.
Right, force of will, but nothing to pitch to it. Is that what it looks like?
No, I think he's got a daze.
Oh, okay.
Just a question of, okay, then he's got a land. Dreadnought. He is, in fact, going to force.
He's gone through all that work to get that Dreadnought. He doesn't want to give it up.
Oh, up on the top table. Aaron Nicastri went digging with a thirst for knowledge. Came up with Knight of Souls Betrayal. Sam Black is picking up a lot of elves and putting them into the graveyard. He is down to a Morph and a No Mage Shepherd. It's, of course, a face-down Birchfloor Ranger. So 2 power worth of creatures now attacking versus the, 10-ish there were previously. And Slaughter Pax takes out the No Mage Shepherd. So Sam Black's offense, which was gigantic about 90 seconds ago, suddenly down to 1/1/1 Morph. Nicastri is, however, down to 1. There's Viridian Shaman. So a second 1/1 creature. Nicastri, I think I heard, is down to 1 life. So Knight of Souls Betrayal is in play, but there's 2 attackers left. Right. A pair of 2/2s.
And he's got to leave his mana tapped, 3 mana tapped to pay for his Slaughter Pack.
Yeah, he's obliged to pay for
He only has 2 mana to deal with.
Okay, meanwhile, it looks like Shion scoops him up. No answer to Tombstalker. So that match is tied 1-0. Oh, and there's the hand. You got there just in time to see the hand. Sam Black has 1 in extended. So Team USA is up a match. Despite Knight of Souls Betrayal, Sam Black takes the win. He got through enough damage that the pair of 2/2s could get through for the last couple of points.
Knight of Souls Betrayal, that's the card everyone's been talking about. It makes, completely shuts down the elf deck. But he's still just enough to finish off Nicastri.
You think you can? Even with your...
All right, Michael Jacob is playing against Brandon Lau. Michael Jacob is down a game. This is shuffling up for game number 2. Yep. The Australians are up 1 here.
Are you only into 4?
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Was it like, 4 Rebel Orcs, or no, 4 Wrath of Gods and 1 land? Is that what it was?
It was some spells and a rugged prairie.
Yeah, I was wondering why they weren't already in game 2, but
yeah.
Problem is Brandon Lau has mulliganed 3 times, and
I'm doing my best.
Yeah. Lady Luck is doing her best to help me out despite me punting, so.
Am I allowed to move?
I think you have to stay there. They told me to stay there, so.
Didn't Paul get to move eventually then?
To cover the match better, I think.
I think the idea is if you stand up, you can see what's in.
Yeah. It's like you can just stand up and see what's in his hand or something. I don't know.
And then you can probably give advice that wouldn't be fair.
Obviously not.
So I just lost my thing.
all right. Team USA leads 1 match to 0. Australia is up 1-0 in standard, and meanwhile extended is ready to go to game 3. We're going to hold that extended match. Sorry, the legacy match. We're going to hold the legacy match. We will get you coverage of game 3 between Paul Cheong and Justin Cheong after this game.
I hope that's your only then.
Well, that's why I asked Cheong. He said, keep it. I'm like, all right, sure. What's wrong
Turn
with
1 Windbreast Heights for Brandon Lau.
Yeah, this is game 2. He's only going to 4, Yeah. Whee! Go.
Here's Knight of Michael Jacob.
Yes.
Your hand was amazing.
It was. I mean, I considered going.
Looks like Brandon Lau kept Windbreast Kite as his only land. What are you going to do with 4 cards, right? Of course, Michael Jacob thought he had the first game won too. Yeah, and did not. In fact,
Thought seeds from Jacob.
Looks at a hand of
Probably going to take that Still Moon Cavalier.
Still Moon Cavalier.
Some Mog Fanatics.
2 Mog Fanatics. And a Mind Stone. Take Mind Stone?
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of expensive spells over there. I would
Still
take,
Moon Cavalier, comes on board. It gets a little.
I take Still
No,
Moon
I'm not taking
Cavalier.
this Fanatic. Just one of these 4. Yeah,
Not
taking
Mog
that
Fanatic.
either.
Yeah, not Revelark. Still, he's looking at Still Moon
One of these
Cavalier, Mind Stone, and
And to be honest, I don't really think I want this one either.
which
No,
one's
another Mog
Mog
Fanatic.
I'll take this one, I guess.
All right.
He does take the mana. Continuing the United States strategy of mana deprivation.
Yep, no second land for Brandon Lau.
Terrific.
Yep. 1620.
Go.
Oh, no third land for Michael Jacob.
Terrific. Even better.
14.
Lau skips another. These games go very fast when no one has land to play their spells.
Go.
Yeah, I guess so.
We may have kept the 2-lander on the play. Terrific.
1224.
Exciting. I have 8 cards. I can discard it or I can cast it.
This is what I drew.
Wow. You drew a lot of more cards you couldn't cast.
Yep.
Wow, Spectral Procession, second Revelark, and Ranger of Eos have been added to Brandon Lau's miserable hand. You take Still Moon Cavalier now, right?
I think so. I mean, you might want to
You
just
could
take.
take Spectral Procession because it turns off Windbreast Kites.
Either of these. So it's one of these.
Either Still Moon Cavalier or Spectral
Confidently it's
Procession.
not this guy.
Yep.
We can say confidently it's not this guy. It's one of these 3.
Okie dokie.
I don't think it's Mog Fanatic.
No, this guy doesn't really impress me too much either.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those 2.
Yeah. I mean, he's only got 4 mounds in his deck. But yeah, I'll take this one.
All right, takes the Still Moon Cavalier.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't think so. This is so awkward. This is just a joke.
This is a,
To be fair, at this point, John would have had to mulligan this if it was a 7-card hand. He hasn't drawn another land.
it's true.
23.
Yep.
Ooh, comes into
I
play
mean, it's
tap
hardly
land.
a place for me to complain.
Arcane Sanctum.
Mulligan to 4, discarding, that's pretty good.
Mulligan to 4, can't even draw a
I
land
feel
before
bad
he's
for
forced to
laughing, that's
discard.
pretty funny.
Revelark heads for the bin.
Got all the way back up to 7 again.
Yeah.
8 to 25.
Brandon Lau down to 8. Now, Lau's up a game
There you
here,
go,
so
creature now.
Michael
That's
Jacob
right.
is playing the Force
Suspect I
Game
do
3.
as well.
I don't even have a 2-drop to play. Jeez. Take a pen?
I do take a pain.
Sure thing.
Looks like Spectral Procession.
Yeah, play some spirits.
Play some spirits.
Hello.
So, 3
All right,
spirits.
go
Michael Jacobs' clock is 2 turns. Glorious Anthem would be lethal.
My only
That's
way to win. Are you kidding?
very much not a land.
All right. Brandon Lau goes ahead and scoops him up. So Michael Jacob and Brandon Lau are going to have to go to 3 to settle that match. Meanwhile, we're going to go watch some more Legacy. So we're going to go back to the match between Paul and Justin. Paul Cheong playing his Phyrexian Dreadnought Stifle deck. Justin Cheong, his giant monsters come in the form of Tarmogoyf and Tombstalker. Both players have Force of Wills, both players have Stifles, both players have Brainstorms. They both got sort of good blue cards and some selection with Brainstorm, Force of Will, and then giant monsters. Paul prefers to be giant,
It's
also
almost like
quality
giant monster for Paul.
Sure, fair. It's interesting how, would you rather have Dreadnoughts and Stifles, or would you rather have 8 monsters? It's like, do you really need a 12-12? Isn't a 5-5 good
Well, I think
enough?
you would rather have. I think you would almost rather have 12 monsters because you have the ability. I don't play Legacy, but you have the ability to. You draw a Stifle or you draw a Dreadnought independent of one another.
Right. Yeah, I feel like
You're not going to.
Cheong's deck looks a little better in that since he's actually got Stifles but not Dreadnoughts. Like, he's got 4 Stifles just because Stifle is good.
Right.
And there's so many fetch lands in this format and so many other random effects that
They say, like, why is
Stifle's
it
quite
better?
good.
Like, because you got to win risk kites. You got to be able to get it.
So this match is tied a game apiece. Team USA is up a match. So if Paul Cheon can win this, Team USA are the champions, and we'll basically never find out how Standard is going to resolve itself. However, if Justin Cheon can win this match, then it'll all go back to Standard.
Based upon severe matches and theory decks.
How well known is that deck?
I guess the whole joke is everybody thought it was under the radar until everybody brought it. I think it was the second most played deck, maybe third.
You only have 8 black sources, though. Yeah. So that was our chance. We were like, we could win if.
That is.
Then so bright.
If it matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure thing. I'll go first.
Okay.
I swear, if I get a good
Chatty
game,
matches in the
then
team finals.
Really is.
losing, I'll be very disappointed.
I always feel like listening rather than talking.
Game 1?
Well, the interaction of the players, talking about the decisions, talking about their mulligans, talking about what play do I make here. That's
Amazing.
fascinating. People were still debating when we went to lunch. People were still debating whether Oiso should have gifted for 4 lands or gifted for 2 spells and 2 lands, and there was no consensus on it.
That's true.
Oh no. Let's see if this is a land first.
So Michael Jacob and Brandon Lau are looking at their opening hands. They're going to resolve mulligans. They're basically going to be ready to go if necessary. We're just going to hold them up. We're going to watch the Legacy match. And if the title hasn't been determined, then we'll go watch the Standard decision maker.
A little reverse justice.
Yeah. I'm flipping everywhere. It's nice.
See the trophies that these guys are playing for? Well, not those trophies. The ones on the left are the ones that they're playing for. Those are the team trophies. The cups on the right are the world's individual title and runner-up title.
Yep, Auntie Mullen will be walking away with one of those. Jamie Park will be walking away with the other. Oh, Justin Cheon is mulliganing.
So
Down to 6.
Where do you think Paul Cheon sits in terms of players without a Pro Tour top 8?
He doesn't have a Pro Tour top 8?
He does not have a Pro Tour top 8.
Wow. Okay.
Remember, we said the same thing about Louis Scott Vargas not 2 months ago.
He was dying, man.
Oh no.
Yeah, he might be the best player in the game without a top 8. If it's not him, it's probably like
Masahiko Morita.
I mean, Morita's been around forever and had tremendous success in the Grand Prix circuit. He's won a lot of money at the Pro Tour, but never quite put up the top 8.
He's been a juggernaut on the Pro Tour, though, in terms of top 16 and
He's
top
got 200 plus pro points, right?
Yes.
I believe he's got 200 plus pro points without a single top 8 at the Pro Tour.
The only player with pro points in between Paul Cheon and Morita is Bernardo da Costa Cabral.
Only player without a top 8.
Would play with a top 8, yeah.
Yeah, Bernardo, good player, kind of drifted away from the game.
Yeah, not
career value, it's clearly Morita is the pick. But peak value right now, I think Cheon's playing really good Magic.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just a matter of time if Cheon continues to play and compete the way he's playing Magic. I mean, he's got a U.S. national title. He's 1 game away from a world's team title here. I mean, this is a really good Magic player and part of this resurgence of American Magic players.
Absolutely, and I think they served as an inspiration for a lot of people to play Magic and to be on the Pro Tour and to do well. There's certainly a lot of excitement in Australia right now because Aaron and his team are doing so well. But it's true. Watching Paul Cheon at LSV, there was a dark period of American Pro Magic, and you really felt like it started to turn around.
Come on, MJ.
Around Paul and LSV.
That sounds right. Notice that Paul Cheon did not wait to crack that fetch land. He just I'm going to do this now. I don't want to have to think about Stifle. I got to get my island. I got no plans for it on this main phase, but
it's funny, right? Yeah,
I do not want Stifle.
You're conditioned to be a good player and do
right. You wait
at
the last possible time, right? Not with fetch lands in a Stifle-heavy environment.
Although you're also a lot freer to do that if you're playing islands, right? And not getting non-basics, which can get wastelanded.
Fair.
How much tension is there in the older formats in terms of, play my fetch land versus my, versus wasteland?
It's matchup dependent.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where the good players will usually have a deck that's got at least a couple of basics so they can go get them if they need to. But then, whatever color you need. And it becomes sort of a deck selection thing. How many wastelands are you worried about? Well, Paul goes for counterbalance.
5.
Ooh, Michael Jacob has mulliganed to 5. So if we come back
we
to
have to watch
standard,
your game instead.
the Australians are
So we can be
advantaged.
If they win, then we don't have to play. I'd rather not play.
Michael Jacob hoping it doesn't come down to him.
And then we're moving over to the Mold of 5?
No, they asked us not to play.
Did he keep on the Mold of 5?
No, he's on the play with 7 and check.
Oh, he kept on 7?
And I'm on 5 and on the draw. And
you haven't decided yet, or have you kept?
Oh, I've decided.
You've decided, okay.
I've decided to watch your game. I've decided.
Yep.
Brainstorm from Justin.
So you just want to be able to have 2 games that are for the tournament? Yeah. This one obviously is.
How often do you hear people who seem confused about something like Brainstorm getting restricted in Vintage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a number of people were surprised by that, but there was no question in my mind it was the most powerful unrestricted card. It was not
With
close.
these are 4 positions.
There's nothing on the line here. We're just kind of having fun. Playing Magic.
It's a very chatty American team. I mean, the Japanese are kind of quiet. The Australians also very quiet.
Aaron's sort of in afterglow mode.
Having clinched his Rookie of the Year
I
title.
mean, he had all sorts of charts and possibilities. I'm sure he knows that he has clinched the title at this point.
It had counterbalance in it.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, he hasn't clinched the title at this point. What am I saying?
Magic in here.
He has.
Straw Dog.
I got him once.
Yes, he did. Right, gave me one.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time they
Put a
cast
long
this,
week of
they put
Magic.
the same one on the top of your line. You're like, why not? Oh, yeah.
Oh, Brainstorm as a response to counterbalance. Found the Force of Will. Did have the Stifle, so removes the Stifle from the game. And does Paul force back in order to defend his counterbalance? I haven't got the chance to see if Paul has a Force of Will or not.
Certainly see that fiery red-blue card in his hand. Certainly seems like the kind of thing you want to defend.
This is certainly a tricky time to have a conversation with your teammates, too.
Like he could have dazed.
They're worried about him having a daze.
No, he would have dazed counterbalance. There's no way he's got dazed.
I mean,
He would have dazed first. Sam Black whispering in his territory.
I'm just still. Yep.
Counterbalance down. Force of Will resolves. And Justin Cheong has successfully fended off a counterbalance. But he did have to burn a Force of Will and another card to do it. Looks like Justin's hand has another Force of Will, a Ponder.
And is he a crushing grip in there?
That's what I thought I saw too. He's going to Ponder main phase, of course. Force land. Another land? Not sure. Draws from the Ponder.
Chose not to shuffle.
It's true. He chose not to. Could have cracked a fetch land there. No, it's all part of Ponder's resolution.
Well, Ponder,
He chose not to shuffle, right? He can now crack a fetch land and shuffle away the top card. Wow. Justin gets a little confused, tries to play 2 lands.
Free Magic. Do you remember when you first played?
Yeah, I did.
I just played all my lands for free. That was awesome. Just play the biggest creatures you had.
Justin shifts turn back. Paul draws, plays a Mishra's Factory, and it's back to Justin. Paul's hand has multiple Force of Wills, a Trinket Mage,
Spell Snare,
and a Spell Snare, and an Island. So he's got the ability to prevent anything crazy from happening, but nothing resembling offense. He can go Trinket Mage We can Trinket Mage up a Dreadnought if he draws into a Stifle.
What you would really love to see here is a Standstill.
Yeah, Standstill would be nice. You can start.
They sound similar.
Work him a little bit with Mishra's
Yeah, well, Standstill, he just plays it like a land still deck at that point, right?
Yeah.
Mishra until
No, Mishra's very relevant.
do something.
Because Mishra means Paul can start chipping away, and Justin's going to have to make the next move. I haven't gotten a good look at Justin's hand yet, but like we've seen, Paul has the ability to stop the first couple of threats. There we see lands, Force of Will, but I didn't see a blue card.
We think he has the Corrosion Grip as his last card.
Turn cracks another fetch land.
You know, he owns all the cards for this deck. It's pretty impressive. Cards, man? 3? 4.
There's a Tombstalker. And that's what he's going to go for. Tombstalker removing a bunch of cards, tapping 2 mana. Paul wishes it counted as a 2 mana, but does not, so he can't Spell Snare it. He has to Force a Will. Removing, what did he remove? The Spell Snare, sure. Makes sense.
So do you think he felt maybe that there wasn't a Force of Will in Paul's hand? Because he didn't counterbalance?
I don't know. I think he's got to start playing things. I mean, Mishra's Factory will kill him eventually. Paul's going to start attacking with it, so the onus is on Justin Cheong to do something. Okay, Paul goes for Trinket Mage. Does he get a top? I mean, unless he top deck Stifle, I don't think it's Dreadnought. And Engineered Explosives doesn't do anything here, so yeah, it is. It's time for Sensei's Dividing Top. Speaking of really powerful cards that you can play in Legacy. Too good for Extended.
It's going to get Corrosion
Too good / too annoying. It's true, Corrosion Grip with the split second ability is in fact very relevant here. Well, Paul declines to cast it. That's pretty interesting. He played the Spell Snare out of his hand too, so he's sort of bluffing another Spell Snare / leaving up Daze mana in case a Force of Will fight happens. Plus, maybe he's playing around Corrosion Grip too. He's going to at least get 1 activation out of his top if he plays this right. Alright, if he yields priority, then it can get Corrosion Gripped. Okay, he's never going to get to use the top, right?
Nope.
I think he's supposed to activate it immediately there. Yeah, split second means Paul does not get to respond by using it. So we've shown him down to 14 thanks to that Trinket Mage hit.
And Mishra. Oh no, the Mishra was
No, Mishra hasn't attacked yet. Paul's been choosing to leave his mana untapped instead of attacking with Mishra, but now Mishra gets busy. 4 damage. $18 to 10 now. Chiln holding 2 Force of Wills, and he does have a Wasteland. I'm sure Cheong is going to waste the Mishra. Looks like he's going to crack a fetch land for land number 5 first. Drops Chiln to 9.
So you can hard cast Force of Will to
counter a Stifle attack, what he's worried about.
Yeah.
Yep, Mishra down. Paul's clock is cut in half. But he does still have a clock. It's funny how this format, Legacy, often comes down to kind of smallish creatures attacking for 5 to 10 turns. It's just there's all these powerful things, but they'll often cancel themselves out, and you're left with like a 2/2.
Right.
Okay, well, attack.
Mutually assured destruction. Everything dies. And the guy gets
Yeah, that's why the threshold deck has been so good in this format over the years. Just like the dust settles, and I've got an untargetable 3/3.
I love Nimble Mongoose.
I think they can hear us. Done?
Trinket Mage goes in for 2 more. Shion down to 5.
Oh, okay.
Paul's got a pretty nice hand. Wow. Paul's hand is spectacular.
You actually seem envious, Randy.
Yeah, look at that hand, yes! Who wouldn't be? Like, can you script a better hand for this position? Are there 5 better cards? Did he just let... What killed the Trinket Mage?
Is it a red blast?
6.
He snuffed out. It looks like he snuffed out the Trinket Mage.
Why don't you counter that?
He hard cast it.
Don't you counter that if you're Paul?
Hey, maybe he doesn't want to get into a fight over that.
Okay.
Here comes a Tombstalker.
Here's Tombstalker. Really genuinely surprised Paul didn't fight over that snuff out. Like, you have an attacker, your opponent's at 5. Okay, now he's got to force the will of the Tombstalker. He's going to have to do that anyway. Shion is going to force back. That is going to get red blasted. Ouch. Extremely efficient.
And Chung is out of cards.
Yeah, Justin Shion has no cards in hand.
Well, now it really looks like he should have fought.
That's my point. You can tell, which Paul had 5 cards, he could counter 4 things. He could basically counter 4 things, so there's no combination of cards Shion can have. Yeah, I think he's supposed to counter the snuff out. Yeah, but I mean, meanwhile, okay, he's still got to force the will. He's got Brainstorm. If he can find any kind of offense, he should be able to finish this off on behalf of Team USA. Team USA already up a match, so if Paul Cheon wins, they are the team champions. All right, the Brainstorm turns up a Wasteland, another Brainstorm.
See a Standstill.
If you kill both the screen, I don't mind doing that.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that seems fine actually. Yeah, run it, like, the only question is, I want to play that
Okay. 1.
There's a pair of Wastelands, so Paul can potentially strip a color away. I think they're debating the merits of that. He's got Standstill, he's got the ability, he's got Wastelands. What he does not have is an attacker.
We could be settling in for a little while here now.
We could.
Chung is going to be in no hurry to crack a Standstill.
He's got no cards in his hand. And there is the Standstill. So Paul Cheon in pretty good control. But I mean, he's just up a counter and a Standstill, so he's clearly advantaged, but would feel a lot better if he could find some way to actually win the game. Yep. Bye-bye green mana. So a pair of Wastelands deprive Justin Cheung of the ability to cast Tarmogoyf. He's down to 3 Underground Seas now. And he's
Game would be
facing off
over at
against
this point.
a Standstill.
Oh.
If he forces the stuff out,
Forces
game's
the
over.
Trinket Mage, yeah, the stuff out, yeah.
So that doesn't get a trap.
No, Bloodstained Mire, which actually does not get tropical on it. There's probably a Bayou in this deck. Let's play Draw Go for a while.
What an aptly named card.
Standstill.
Yeah.
And Wasteland for Justin Cheung is going to deprive Paul of his red mana. Makes sense. Paul really wants his Mishra's Factory.
Yes.
I think Paul drew a Volcanic, but he wisely keeps it in his hand. Doesn't want to expose it to Wasteland until he needs to actually cast a red spell. Or discard.
Or discard.
Another wasteland for Paul. Handful of blue cards. Handful of cards on the other side too. Standstill means neither player wants to blink first. Paul desperately wants Mishra's Factory. There are no Mishras in Justin's deck, right?
I don't believe so. No.
I mean, I think even if Paul has to start discarding, I think there's no reason for him to break the standstill. He's the one that can draw into a land that's capable of winning the game. No lightning bolts or anything, right?
No.
So both players are now in discard mode. Daze gets discarded by Justin. Paul draws an island.
That's not a Mishra.
Fetch land for Paul. He's happy he doesn't have to discard.
Oh.
Another Bloodstain Mire.
Discard. I know. Dust.
Looks like he discarded another Standstill.
Discard.
Stifle was just discarded. Brainstorm gets discarded by Justin.
This? No, I don't want that.
Yeah.
No, it's not that good right now. Well, I guess it can.
Paul debating with his teammates what he should be discarding.
I think it's either this or this.
Discard.
Daze.
So in this situation, I mean, the game inevitably should go to Paul.
Not inevitably. I mean, it's possible for Justin to just put a hand together, crack Standstill on Paul's end step, force Paul to discard all the alleged card advantage that he gets.
He does have a Thoughtseize, so he can break the Standstill and...
That's rough, though. I think he really wants to
Break it
pick up.
already.
He wants to break it with like a Brainstorm on end step. Something that makes Paul then discard cards. Because like every card in Paul's hand is good right now. Right? And the Mishra is the looming threat. Right? Justin has to find an opportunity. He has to like put a hand together that he thinks he can make a run at. I mean, at this point, Paul's hand can't get better. He's scripted it. He's got 7 cards. He's got blue cards for his Force of Wills.
Should he be thinning his deck? Should he be like breaking his fetch lands?
He's worried about the life is the problem. He's only got 4 life left. Does Justin show him?
No, I'm
Paul should, yeah. Paul should be cracking his fetch lands, absolutely.
Oh, that's looking good. Did he use 3? Yeah, he has 1 left. Okay. Sweet.
Yeah, Chung is just discarding his Thoughtseize.
Right,
That's not how he wants to break it.
Breathtaking.
It's actually a pretty interesting match of Magic. I don't mind this. I mean, it's an interesting sort of strategic moment. Both Paul discards his Standstill.
It's a contest of wills.
Yeah, Paul's plan is pretty clear. Find Mishra's Factory. Justin, meanwhile, maybe he wants to wait for the Mishra's threat before he goes for it, but like if he could piece together the right hand.
Sculpting the perfect hand.
Discarding sinkholes. Counterbalance.
I'm playing my match though, so it's fine.
Justin discards Ponder. Paul discards Echoing Truth.
Those 2 suckers are cost so little.
They're free.
Justin discards Duress. Paul draws and plays a land.
He didn't board anything out, did you?
His teammates needling. Did you discard? Did you board out any Mishra's Factories? What are your Mishra's
I boarded all my
Factories?
factories.
Yeah.
Read us like a book.
Yeah, there is a Wasteland sitting in Justin's hand, so he's ready for the first Mishra.
There's
no
two.
way.
He's ready for the second one also.
Oh, interesting. That's interesting. There are stifles, but that would force Paul to break it. It's kind of interesting. Justin is holding on to the Wastelands. Maybe he thinks he can deck him. Like, if he can resolve those Wastelands. I mean, Paul, I don't know how many stifles Paul's been holding on to. Like, the only way to defend his Mishras would be with stifles. I believe he removed one to a Force of Will earlier. Was that a spell slot?
I think he discarded one as well.
I think he did discard one earlier. And note the smart thing that Justin is doing. He doesn't want to play those Wastelands. Like, he doesn't want to get them wasted by Paul. Right? If he's actually discarding spells while holding playable lands in his hand, and it's exactly the right thing to do. If he ever puts a Wasteland on the board, Paul's just going to waste it, and he never gets to use it to kill a Mishra. But if he waits for Mishra's Factory, now he can play Wasteland, use it. Either he kills a Mishra's Factory, or Paul plays a Stifle, which means Justin will be the one drawing cards from Standstill.
Yeah. He's counting the deck.
Yeah, I think there's a legitimate danger of Paul getting decked here. What was
We have a new plan, boys.
What was the count?
I think we want to
Oh, is Paul actually going to deck Justin?
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable.
Now you get into a fight over who gets to cast a spell first that triggers the Standstill. Stop discarding those Standstill.
What is Justin's deck thinner? Is it all the fetch lands? Has Paul just...
This is just thin as deck.
Hold a little bit. Go.
All right. Paul draws the Mishras finally, but Justin has a plan. There it is, Wasteland.
Boo. Come on.
Stifle here?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you break the Standstill for Stifle? If he's on the deck plan, it's not crazy. Justin wisely waits until Paul's turn, doesn't want to get stuck discarding cards if the Standstill breaks. So yeah, Paul activates Mishra's Factory, that makes sense. Attacks, and it gets wasted. No Stifle, but here's another Mishra's Factory. We know, but Paul doesn't, that another Wasteland's going to come down.
Come on. Card 7.
Standstill a mandatory draw?
Yeah.
Not yet.
All right. Paul activates this Mishra's Factory and attacks. Once again, Justin points a Wasteland at it. So man down. There's only one Mishra's Factory left in Paul Cheon's deck.
Discard.
Paul back on the discard plan. Discards a counterbalance. If nobody does anything, it's Justin Cheon that gets decked. Paul has 15 total, and Justin has 13. Now 12, and Justin is obliged to eventually break the Standstill or he'll just lose. So Paul hoping to draw his last Mishra's Factory. Failing that, he can attempt to deck Justin Cheon. 11 cards left in Justin's deck. Plays an Underground Sea.
Yeah, it's definitely not a May effect on the card draw, so.
And can it trigger multiple times if it's all on the stack? Whenever a player plays a spell, sacrifice Standstill. If you do, each player draws, that player's opponent draws 3 cards. So it can only one person can wind up drawing 3 cards.
You can get into a little bit of a fight over it.
Potentially. Well, it's always going to be the top spell.
Right. Just a weird fight.
Yeah.
Brainstorm. Well, I brainstorm in response.
Okay. Gotta think of strategy here.
Remember, Paul's not a legacy player. I mean, I don't know. I know Justin Chung has some legacy experience. But Paul's played at a GP, but he's not a legacy player. So he's
How many lands does he have in his deck? He has 4 rivers, 2 trops, and 1 bayou, right?
That's what I thought, yeah.
So he's gone through 2, so he's got a trop left. So he can only cast. Like his plan is to discard.
Paul doesn't.
Try to closing grip to try to attack it. In response, I can try to fetch. And then stifle it, and then do a bunch of stuff. Oh no, I can't. Because...
How many crows and grips does Justin Cheung have?
So I actually have to kind of try to go for
And does the split second beat Standstill?
What do you think this plays?
no, I don't think it does.
You have to sacrifice it. I think it does.
You know it's going to go.
No, it's going to trigger on top, and the trigger will resolve. Right. So
I'm trying to close it with my Standstill to make me draw 3 cards to deck me.
Just 3 crows and grips.
yeah, it's definitely true that Paul's worried about.
And he might have it in his... He might actually have it...
Oh, the interesting thing that Crows and Grip does.
But if he grips, Paul
can't fight a standstill fight. Like Paul gets decked. Like it swings the decking battle. It's true. So Crows and Grip would swing the decking battle in favor of Justin Cheung. That's interesting. How many Crows and Grips did you look at up? I'm sorry.
3.
There's 3. So this is a very real danger. Justin Cheung just sits over there. I don't think he's exchanged one word with his teammates.
He's like, this is my area of expertise.
Oh, 11.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, at whatever point, and even if Paul goes to break it to try to make Justin draw, Crows and Grip messes it all up.
You almost feel like he can't afford to wait too long to do it.
What's this?
Right, because whenever Crows and Grip happens, Paul's helpless. Like, Paul's going to be drawing the 3 cards. It's actually Paul that's going to get decked because of this split-second Crows and Grip interaction. That's crazy. They can't even stifle it because, of course, it's a split-second card.
We'll see. I have quite a few cards yet.
Paul did figure out this plan. I don't know if he figured it out in time.
Do you feel like Paul needs to make a move sooner than later?
I think he might. I think he really, really wishes he had counted that snuff out on the Trinket Mage.
Sorry. It's just the last few turns is very important here because the game's going to end very soon.
Very soon, like an hour. That hour at most.
This card.
Yeah, Justin Cheung has put together an awesome strategy here. He sat on those wastelands, ready to nail Mistress Factory. The last Mistress Factory can mess up his plans, right? I mean, that's still what Paul wants to do, is he wants the last Mistress Factory. So he should pick the Standstill fight at a point where he still has time to draw into the Mistress Factory and win with it.
Yeah.
That's what he's got to do.
It's this.
And hope that the last wasteland is not there.
No, yeah, okay. This card.
These guys are tied 1 game apiece in Legacy. Team USA is up a match, so Paul Cheung can win this. They're the team champions. However, Justin Cheung threatening to deck his American opponent. That would send it back to Standard, where they're also tied 1 game apiece, but where Michael Jacob has waiting for a double mulligan. All right, here we go. Paul plays Brainstorm. That triggers the Standstill, and the Standstill resolves. Interesting. no Croson grip split second shenanigans. Did he have a Croson grip in his hand?
Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe it doesn't work that way. Doesn't it work that way?
I think maybe he just didn't understand the Croson grip interaction.
I mean, maybe we don't.
Maybe we're wrong.
I know.
Oh, I think he drew the... His ability to fetch for green mana is also tricky. He has no green mana right now is the other problem with Croson Grip. So if the tropical was in his hand, but he has fetch land, so he could have got the tropical.
He just doesn't have any... He could have force of will, I guess. But he didn't have anything else that he could really play.
Who's this, Justin?
Yeah, Justin on the left end.
I think there was a really tricky split-second standstill interaction that Paul saw and Justin didn't.
It's possible that Justin just didn't have the mana.
Well, he doesn't have any green mana in play, but he has fetch lands. He has one tropical island. He has access to one tropical island. If the tropical was in his hand, then he's screwed. If tropical was in his deck, he could have fetched for it. If he had the tropical in his hand, then it is tricky because, like, if he draws the tropical, Paul's got that wasteland eyeing the one tropical island. So that's probably what happened. I didn't see Justin's hands. If Justin he may have had tropical in his hand.
There's a Mishra from Paul. It might all be new.
I'm not leaving with that because I know it's on time.
Okay, we have verified our spotter, Rashad Miller, who made a bunch of money in Berlin. This guy knows how to play Magic. Thank goodness we've got him down on the floor helping us sort these things out. Informs us that, yes, Justin Cheong had drawn that tropical island. It was in his hand. So Paul Cheong's strategy way back at the beginning of the game to waste all the green mana has worked out brilliantly.
Right.
Croson Grip could have decked Paul Cheong thanks to Paul's own standstill, but if Justin plays the tropical island, it gets wastelanded. He had to hold it in his hand and hope for the right moment, and it didn't work. So now Justin is forced desperately to try to win this game with damage while he's got only a couple cards left in his library. Tombstalker is his opening play. Paul Cheong has sculpted exactly the hand that he wants for these fights.
Do you know what the flavor text on Standstill is?
No.
Take your time.
No, we don't necessarily, because he has 2 cards left in his library.
Yeah, but doesn't it?
He can't play Tombstalker this turn.
Oh,
He can only play one target.
All right, yeah.
I think we're good.
Force a will on Tombstalker. That green mana also means multiple Tarmogoyfs is impossible. There's only one source of green left in Justin's entire deck. It's a tropical island, which he's currently holding in his hand. He's been holding it against the wasteland, but the wasteland, the green strategy has worked out great. There's only 3 green sources in the entire deck. Fetch lands to go get them, but they've wasted both the ones that have been played.
Paul's paying the alternate casting cost on Force of Will.
Yeah.
When I finish, I'm going to go back and my friends are going to tell me like the 47 mistakes I made this game.
To be fair, he actually had best success and we had nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we do nothing for like 10 turns.
Paul, you're going to win. Nothing else matters. If anybody gives you any grief over these decisions, I think the right answer is scoreboard.
No, he's going to 3.
One of the best players in America right now, one of the best players in the game right now, is about to put Team USA back on top of the world's team competition. The names Michael Jacob, Sam Black, and Paul Cheong are going to be inscribed on that traveling trophy. Unless we've misunderstood something. Okay, there's Tarmogoyf. Unless we're misunderstanding the way this game plays out, it sure looks like Paul Cheong and his legacy deck are going to clinch this. They're going to spare Michael Jacob the ignominy of playing that 5-card hand that's sitting on the table face down in front of him right now. Spell Snare for Tarmogoyf. Yeah, Justin Cheong forced to say go.
Oh, no, you're at 3.
Justin's at 3. Mishra is not quite lethal. Yeah, may as well attack. Threatening an attack for lethal next turn. All right. Justin Cheung draws the next to last card in his library. With 16 life left for Paul, it's really hard to even get enough attackers. Here's another Tombstalker. I guess you counter it, right? And there's only time for one attack phase, but yeah. Echoing Truth, he bounces it, sure. Echoing Truth doesn't help him, so bounces it, sets up a lethal attack for Mishra. Paul's got this game almost won from two different directions. 1 point of life left for his opponent, 1 card left in his opponent's library. You're going to deck him or you're going to attack him for damage? Wow, that's hilarious. It's literally 1 point of life and 1 card. And there it is.
Congratulations.
Team USA wins the World Team title. Wow.
MJ.
Yes!
It's all you, man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's all you.
You know, when the wins counted, I was there. When it didn't count, I mean, who cares?
That was a weird game.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to Team USA. Paul Cheon pulls it off in Legacy.
We're going to win that one.
Wastelanding the green mana really constricted the options that Justin Cheong had. There was maybe a path through that could have won it easier if he'd fought over a snuff out early when he was up 5 cards and a couple counters. He could have won it earlier, but he won it anyway.
There's Dreadnought relevant that game.
Yeah, Dreadnought never even came up.
Because if I close it,
That was all about Standstill.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I can respond to the trigger, right? The trigger goes on the
No, you can't respond to the trigger with a split-second card on top.
Oh, really? Yeah, so if I waited too long, we would have just died. Yeah.
Paul's putting all the pieces together now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Brian David Marshall, Randy Bueller. We just watched a crazy Legacy match. I mean, that format it's crazy. There's a lot of just interesting interactions. It's a pretty cool format.
Yeah, that was very strange. It was almost like a reverse counter war that was going to get set up. Who would
lose the standstill
Who
fight?
would lose the standstill fight?
Yeah.
It was very interesting. And Paul Cheon, played it. He realized at some point, I'm going to have to deck him. I'm going to have to deck him with my standstill.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Fascinating. And that's a major title for Paul's trophy case.
Yes. Paul's got a World Team win.
Champions.
Absolutely. That's a great title. Paul is winning that. Team USA threatening a sweep of all the big titles this year. They're not going to get Pro Tours, but all the events could be won by Americans.
3 Pro Tours in the books.
Yep.
A 4th one to be settled after this.
Yep. It'll be Jamie
with
Park,
an American
it'll be
in the
Anti-Malin.
finals. Against Anti-Malin, it's, again, not a great matchup for Jamie Park.
Yeah, it's true. Sounds good. All right, it's going to be Jamie Park versus Anti-Malin. We got some tables to rearrange, so they'll take the team tables down. They'll bring the individual table back. We have one last match of Magic left at 2008 World Championships. We will be back to Memphis momentarily. We'll take a real quick break, and we will be back with the individual championship match.